Hello everyone, and I'm sorry if I haven't uploaded a video in a while, because today I'll be releasing 2 videos. I just haven't found any movies recently that I wanted to see until now, and for the last few days I'm away on vacation with my family, so I do apologize for that, essentially. And with Kung Fu Panda 3 coming out this weekend, this weekend and this week, I thought I'll be personally making my top 5, well, the title of this video is, of course, my top favorite and least favorite of Dreamworks. Dreamworks so far, ever since the very beginning, like the Prince of Egypt, all the way up till now, with Kung Fu Panda 3, essentially. So I'm very, very excited and honored to bring you my personal top 5 favorite Dreamworks movies, of course. And I'm sorry, because there will be a bit of ties, and I can't choose. I personally just can't choose which ones I like more than others. So, prepared for a very 100% biased list of my top 5 favorite Dreamworks movies. I know I'm kind of blowing this up, but whatever. Alright, and I have a list here on my computer. Alright, number 5. Wallace and Gromit. I grew up on animation, especially, of course, with Wallace and Gromit, because it's a very much of a British, I won't say it's a British show, but it's of a British series with all very fun, cool British quirks and jokes and references and all like that with Wallace and Gromit, and essentially how much they love cheese and how cool and weird their profession is. It's actually really, really funny, and it's growing up with this franchise. Wallace and Gromit, I think, is really cute, really cool, very endearing, and of course they've grown up to a bit their older and more unique things, such as a few years ago they made a Pirates movie, which I thought was fine, and they made last year's Shaun of the Sheep, which I have not seen, nor would I want to see. I'm sorry if you wanted me to see that. You're probably never going to get me to see that. But I really do love Wallace and Gromit. They're childhood favorites of mine, essentially. I love these movies. I grew up on them. Yeah, for me, Wallace and Gromit are essentially, for me, my little certain Dreamworks cup of tea, essentially. Weirdly enough, I love them. They're great. Number 4 for me is Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. I love each of these movies. They have such clever sense. They have such clever levels of substance, but with also good humor and a great story to go along with it. With, of course, these 2 movies and the film coming out, is that they have such a great cast and they know how to utilize them very, very well, but not to make them too obvious, like throwing them in for the sake of being famous. Essentially, is like no. Let's use really clever voice actors. You get Jack Black as the main voice. He brings out the inner fanboy voice. I think he really represents that well. It's like he sees the Furious 5 and he really geeks out. He's like, oh, Furious 5, and he freaks out great. You get Dustin Hoffman as a wise leader, which I think is a great choice. He brings a lot of weight and gravity and gratitude and a lot of intelligence to his role. He really commands, and everyone else is great. Jackie Chan is great as a monkey. What else is there? There's Lucy Liu as Snake. There is Seth Rogen as the insect. I forgot what the hell the insect is called. You also got Angelina Jolie as Tigress, and in the first movie you got, in the first movie you got Ian McShane as a villain. I thought he was great. And in the second movie you got Gary Oldman as a villain, which I thought was excellent. He's maybe my favorite animated villain of all time. That may be a big thing to say, but whatever. But my favorite thing about these movies is that they have such a clever substance behind them. It's all about the philosophy it has with it. Even though it is for kids and all the great humor and mess and all the stuff within it, for me, this is a statement I will always stand by, is that if there's a kids movie, the most important thing about it is 2 things. Number 1 is don't what's the term? Essentially talk down to the audience. It talks about it in a very straightforward, cool manner where the kids can follow on their own sake, and I think that's really great. But aside from that, the most important thing for any kids movie ever is the message. And the messages in these movies are brilliant, because the first one is all about understanding how things fall into place and how you can just find your own gratitude and find your own calmness. It's a wonderful message. And then the second one was all about finding out your inner peace and how he finds balance within himself and this big enemy that he goes up against, which is played by Gary Oldman. Excellent villain. I can't praise him enough. Personally, I just love Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, and I'm greatly anticipating the new one. The new Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. Nothing more to say, but Kung Fu Panda is truly the ultimate never judge a movie by its title movie. Number 3 for me is another tie, I know, I'm sorry. And that is How to Train Your Dragon number 1 and 2. I love these movies. They are fantastic. The first one was such a surprise hit. I love that one a lot. That's one of my favorites out 2010. And then the second one was so much cooler, much more deeper. It went much more into family and more of the dark, unique angle he was supposed to go into, and I really love that perspective. I love the animation, the voice acting, especially by Jay Baruchel and Gerard Butler, are just excellent. They work with each other very, very great as well. And in the second movie, you get Cate Blanchett, who voices his mom. She's excellent. I loved her in this movie. The animation was phenomenal. This movie, like, I saw How to Train Your Dragon 2 in 3D. I didn't see the first. I only saw the second in 3D. And I'll honestly say it's the best movie I've ever seen in 3D. It really is. It's one movie. The one movie I personally don't mind 3D as long as it's utilized well. But guess what? How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2 are just utilized brilliantly with breathtaking animation, profound story, and great emotional ties within the family and friends, and almost Norse founding it has going through it, with especially mixing with dragons. How cool is that? It really is so cool. And nothing more to say, but How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2 are just incredible movies, and they're truly worth for kids. I know. I'm tired of rushing this. No, my number 2 is my number 2 spot for my favorite Dreamworks movies is Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. Not 3 and 4, because 3 is awful and the 4th is just mixed. But what is, for me at least, so special about Shrek, it's all about the unique and cool message, especially with the great voice cast in these movies. They're excellent. They really are. And the consistent animation, even with the 3rd and 4th, which I may not like on the most, the animation was still great in those. It's such a clever saga that really went through its own merits. But in the end of it all, it really outshines with its excellent message of, same thing with Kung Fu Panda, is not judging a book by its cover. Shrek, you may think of him as like, oh, he's just a gross green glob of a character voiced by Michael Myers. You may say, oh, that's dumb and that's gross, and you'd be right. But if you didn't meet him, and that's such a profound message. The first film, it kind of is. It's weird to say, because I always say this is a Scream of animated kids movie. It really flips it on its head and really does make a great wink and nod, but also parodying it in such a unique and clever way. I think it's a great movie because of that, and I think the first one is excellent. However, unlike Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2 or How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, where it's hard for me to say, oh, which one do I prefer, these two are the only ones where I could literally say which one do I like better. As much as I love the first, and I really do love the first, it's a childhood classic of mine, Shrek 2, in my opinion, may be the best, well, aside from probably Toy Story 2, the best animated sequel of all time. It really does update, I won't say it updates, but it makes it seem bigger and better on both the story, the characters, how they develop, and the comedy. Like, seriously, as a kid, I didn't really laugh much at stuff, but Shrek 2 had me laughing really, really, really hard, and I loved the humor in this movie. Nothing more I can say that Shrek is love and Shrek is life. I'm probably too late for that meme. I'm way too late for that. I'm sorry, that was probably painful. And my number one favorite DreamWorks movie is... I'm not going to say it yet. I'm not. I have some honorable mentions. For me, those honorable mentions are Madagascar. I really like that movie a lot. I think it's quite cool. I think of those the three Madagascar movies, I personally like the first the most of all of them. Even though the second and third are really good. Chicken Run, again, another Armin Studios movie that I really love. It's just a childhood classic of mine. I remember that one so much. And the Prince of Egypt. I really, really love that movie. It's really, really wonderful. Brilliant animation, great voice cast as a whole. And, of course, Sinbad, the Legend of the Seven Seas. I love that movie. I love Sinbad as a character. He's an excellent character. And just as a whole, how can you not go wrong with an adventure movie? Alright. My number one favorite animated DreamWorks movie is, for me at least, The Road to El Dorado. This movie has a really sentimental place in my heart. It is, like, right here. It says, well, it's kind of reversed, but it says an instant classic. And, oh my god, do I love this movie. Not only is the message of friendship really invoked within the movie, but it's brilliant voice cast. The only two main characters are, they're not voiced by people who, not like modern actors like Jay Baruchel in Hunter and Dragon 1 and 2, or Jack Black in Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. But the two people who are voices to Miguel and Tulio are critically acclaimed Oscar winners. Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh have voiced kids movie roles, and you may never think of Kenneth Branagh, a man who brought us many Shakespeare adaptations, and Kevin Kline, a brilliant actor within his own right, voicing an anime movie. But it works so well. The relationship between them is superb. I think this is one of the best romances I've ever seen in an animated film. I love the animation. There's a great mix of animation, but also with CG mixed in with almost cool, unique glow of gold within it. The soundtrack is probably my favorite of all time. I'm a huge fan of Tim Rice and Elton John, and the same guys who brought us the Lion King soundtrack. And yeah, in my opinion, they struck gold again with this movie, with a phenomenal soundtrack, excellent messages, and especially this clever, unique way of building up the Emperor Has No Clothes value to it. It was like they kind of say that, like, they come from Spain, they end up in modern day Mexico. They're like, oh yes, of course we are human. We are incarnate of gods, but inhuman. They kind of take that advantage, and they meet up with this runaway girl who is a really great character. I loved her character in the movie. Just, for me, this is just animated classic. I fucking love this movie. I love it so much. It's so cute. It's so well done. It has great animation. It has a fantastic soundtrack. It still remains, I think this is the second or third DreamWorks movie, but this will always remain my personal favorite DreamWorks movie. And in the end, everyone, that's just my list. However, not yet, no. I'm going to give you my number one least favorite DreamWorks movie is, this should be kept, it's not obvious, but my least favorite DreamWorks movie is probably, for me, Shark Tale. I really don't like that movie a lot. I thought that is just a terrible movie. The voice cast was much better. Thankfully, they went on to thankfully they went on to do bigger and better stuff, like Will Smith, Jada Pinkett. I know she was in the movie. Will Smith, Renee Zellweger, Jack Black, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese. They were in this movie. That's an excellent cast, and they wasted with such a stupid plot and horrible modern music, and I literally felt ashamed. Like, even as a kid, I didn't like this. It's like an earlier version of Shrek. It's like, why do people like this? I hate it. This is awful. Why am I watching this? And they just, fuck off. I absolutely hate. I just forgot the name of the movie. Oh god, no, I'm so sorry. But in the end, that's just my review of, not my review, but that's my favorite, my top favorite and least favorite of Dreamworks, everyone. I really do hope you enjoy it. They're my top 5 favorites and my number 1 least favorite. Now, to just run through again my top 5. Number 5, Wallace and Gromit. Number 4, Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. Number 3, How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. Number 2 for me is Shrek 1 and 2. And number 1 is The Road to El Dorado. And my least favorite is that piece of shit, Shark Tale. That's it. I really don't like that movie, and if you like it, that's fine, but I will never understand why. I will never understand why. And that's just it, really. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and stick around for my review of The Honest of the Finest Hours. Till then, everyone, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the future for more videos as always. Well, till later when I upload that video. Till then, everyone, thank you very much.